In downtown Chicago, the Sterling Financial Group stood as a gleaming symbol of success and ambition. Its founder and CEO, Richard Sterling, had built the company from nothing. To his employees, he was a mentor, a leader, a man who seemed to have everything. But behind that polished image, a dangerous secret was growing, one that would destroy not only his empire but the lives of everyone around him. Richard Sterling was 49, married to Claire for over 2 decades. Together, they embodied the picture of wealth and stability, luxury cars, a penthouse overlooking the lake, and the admiration of the city's business elite. Claire was elegant and poised, the perfect complement to Richard's charisma. But in early 2022, the carefully constructed image of their marriage began to fracture. Enter Julia Marks, 29, ambitious, creative, and determined to climb the corporate ladder. She joined Sterling Financial as a marketing executive, quickly earning Richard's attention. Colleagues noticed the change almost immediately. Late-night meetings, private lunches, and the quiet way Richard's eyes followed Julia whenever she entered the room. At first, it was dismissed as gossip, but soon it became impossible to ignore. Emails later recovered by investigators revealed the growing intimacy between them. Coded messages, late-night exchanges, and declarations of love disguised as business talk. The affair grew bold. Julia and Richard began traveling together for client meetings, while Claire stayed home, unaware of the affair consuming her husband's double life. By winter, whispers had spread through the office. Employees claimed Julia's promotion to head of marketing was no coincidence. The tension grew unbearable, and Richard's once flawless reputation began to crack. Still, he denied everything, to his colleagues, to his board, and especially to his wife. That illusion shattered on Valentine's Day 2023. Claire Sterling, having grown suspicious of her husband's increasingly distant behavior, decided to follow him to his office that evening. What she discovered would change everything. Surveillance footage later confirmed that Claire arrived at 7:42 p.m., carrying a small envelope, divorce papers. What happened next remains one of the most debated moments in Chicago's corporate crime history. Police records show that Claire confronted her husband in his top-floor office. Their heated argument could be heard by a janitor working 2 floors down. Minutes later, a loud crash echoed through the building. When security officers arrived, Claire Sterling was dead. Her husband was found unconscious beside her body, his hands and clothes stained with blood. At first, Richard claimed it was self-defense, that his wife had attacked him in a jealous rage after discovering the affair. He insisted he'd tried to restrain her, that the injury was an accident. But forensic evidence told a more sinister story. The murder weapon, a heavy glass Leadership Excellence Award, had been wiped clean. 2 distinct sets of fingerprints were later found, Richard's and another belonging to Julia Marks. Julia's involvement came to light when investigators uncovered keycard logs, showing she had entered the building earlier that evening, nearly an hour before Claire arrived. Witnesses later testified that Julia had been seen waiting in the parking lot, visibly distressed. When detectives questioned her, Julia broke down. She claimed she had gone to the office that night to confront Claire, not to kill her. In her statement, she said she wanted to explain that she and Richard were in love, that it wasn't an affair anymore, but something real. The conversation turned violent. Julia admitted to grabbing the award in panic and striking Claire once. She claimed Richard entered moments later and tried to help, but the damage was done. Her confession shocked everyone. The story of love and ambition had twisted into betrayal and bloodshed. The trial that followed became a media circus. Julia Marks, charged with second-degree murder, sat silently in court, often staring at Richard across the room. He in turn faced charges of obstruction of justice and evidence tampering after admitting to cleaning the weapon and staging part of the scene. He said he did it to protect the woman I loved. Reporters filled the courtroom daily, their headlines feeding the city's obsession with the scandal. Corporate betrayal forbidden love, a shattered marriage. The story had everything. Julia Marks was ultimately convicted and sentenced to 25 years in prison. Richard Sterling accepted a plea deal, serving 5 years for obstruction and losing his company, his fortune, and the respect of everyone who once admired him. Today, the top floor of the Sterling Financial Building remains empty. The office that once symbolized power now stands as a chilling reminder of what obsession can do. In the world of ambition and desire, secrets don't stay buried for long. They grow until they consume everything. And when love turns to lies, the truth always demands a price.